When a man's the breadwinner, it's like a solemn thing. They're going off to the drudgery of having to put up with stuff in order to make sure that others can survive. Yeah, sure, men have their own ambitions, but the status of breadwinner and why that status is rewarded in society is because it's a pro-social thing. It's a sacrificial thing. It's a thing where he's hurting himself in order to fulfill the needs of another. Men never had ease and prestige at the same time. One was at the expense of the other. And it was typically, you get a little bit of prestige, like you're not completely disrespected by society because you're sacrificing yourself for someone else. And there's always something implicit when the man is the breadwinner. This idea, that's a token symbolic idea, partially. But the idea that he's working and the woman doesn't have to because she is special, because she is actually worth more. She is entitled to have, it's like benevolent sexism, right? You know, she's entitled to not get her hands dirty because she's VIP. He's just the workhorse. He's the machine that enables her specialness. But of course, when it's reversed, it's not like this. When women on TikTok joke that just because they're the breadwinner, that doesn't mean that her money is theirs or the family's. It's her money, and the guy's money, even if it's less, is their money collectively, and her money is her money. And so the dynamic, like everything with feminism, you retain the benefit, you now flip it so that you have the benefit, but you do not assume the duty alongside it. I have yet to see a female breadwinner who speaks highly of her man. Even if she makes 110K and he makes 90K. So they're both breadwinners, but look, comparatively, she is the winner. She won life in her mind. And her husband is no competition to her. Her efficiency, her drive, her charisma, and she has the looks. And in the female metric, he doesn't have the looks, because by the female metric of beauty and obsession over sparkly things and giddy teen-like behavior, the men are not beautiful. You know, we're like orcs and they're sparkly princesses. And to the new breed of breadwinning women who covet that role, they are better than their husband in every conceivable way. They just won the competition. It's not that they feel a solemn need to provide for the man, like, you know, to nourish him and meet all of his needs. No, he just failed to live up to the standard, and she had to pick up the slack because he's such an idiot. That's how she views it. And all the women who watch that kind of thing and go, "Get him, sis," on TikTok, "Oh my God, that's so funny, it's hilarious, I'm in the same situation," they're talking about failed relationships by and large that they're still remaining in. And that's sad. Men are told that it totally doesn't matter who's the breadwinner, that it would just be a totally archaic idea to even give it a second thought. Oh, it's just irrelevant. But the women get together and they giggle about it so hard that you know that there's tension there. You know that there's a lot of things unsaid there. And you know that it all revolves around masculinity, which they do care about, regardless of how woke they are. They care about masculinity. And they get together and they giggle about masculinity or lack of masculinity and they feel all sorts of pity and shame and secondhand embarrassment and superiority and contempt for people like stay-at-home dads. A stay-at-home dad will never be valued by a stay-at-home mom. I mean, by a stay-at-home mom. A stay-at-home dad will never be valued like a stay-at-home mom was traditionally valued, because you're not going to get a critical mass of women to authentically respect stay-at-home dads, or even dads who just make, 5% less than their wife. Because that breadwinning woman, she has the inherited status of being a woman and not having to achieve in order to be respected. And then she also has achieved. Like, let's be real. What she's done is not effortless. She has achieved on top of that. So she's gotten the training wheels of being a woman, and she's produced like a man when, for really no good reason, like no one expected her to. People just doubted that they could, even though in the information economy, when there's no lifting and no measuring and no spatial, it's just pure, communication and efficiency, women will do well there. No surprise there. Administrative tasks. You don't have to be in an administrative job for it to largely be administrative tasks. Real estate agents, women kill at that. But so she's inherited this respect and this reverence for being a woman. I don't know if respect would be it, but reverence and like people just caring about her and wanting to soothe her. Those privileges that come with being female. And then she also achieved in the, what's thought to be the proving ground of males. And so she's like this super respected figure because she has, the fertility and the looks and the grace and all the things that we ascribe to being, a woman. And then she also is like a world beater and a dominator. And she's, viewed as testosteronic and accomplished. And, what role is there for the man? Like, she is literally better at everything. So he is her dependent, And the things that he is good at, like helping her open the pickle jar, those things will be mocked as being, just him being a utility tool. Those things will be mocked. Those things will be devalued. The protection, that'll be devalued. I mean, she can protect herself with a firearm or by calling the police, more likely. And, how often is that really going to come into play? How often is he going to attack someone on behalf of her? He would go to jail if he did that, and then he'd be devalued even more. So, long story short, the concept of breadwinner should almost be retired at this point, because it's like, if the woman's making more, she's not fulfilling her duties as a breadwinner. The duties as a breadwinner is not to have a big fat number on your tax return and not nourish anybody else and just be like, oh, haha, I won the breadwinner battle, and not help people in your family. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying they don't help their kids, but they certainly don't they're not working for their husband. They couldn't fathom doing that. But all right, y'all, peace.